Welcome to Green Time. I'm host Don Fitz. This episode we're going to be talking about the National MLK Street Initiative. With me I have a couple of guests who have worked on this project for quite a while. I have Melvin White and I also have William Carol.
How you doing, sir?
Great to have y'all. Now, both of you are with the Beloved Streets of America, is that correct?
Yes.
And Melvin, you are the
President and CEO.
President and CEO, and William?
Chief Administrative Officer.
Chief Administrative Officer.
Yes.
Now, we are going to see half of the DVD that you've made. Now, what is on this DVD that the viewer's going to get a chance to look at?
They're going to get a chance to view some of the cities that we've been through over the last 7 years, various Martin Luther King streets across the country that we've been through, and it'll show cities like Delaware, Miami, Florida, Houston, Texas. Those are some of the cities. There's several other cities, but those are just some of the ones
they're going to be on the DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's take a look at the National MLK Street Initiative.
You're asking today, how long will it take? Somebody's asking, how long will prejudice blind the visions of men? I come to say to you this afternoon, however difficult the moment, yes, sir, however frustrating the hour, it will not be long, because truth-crushed earth will rise again. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. Yes, sir. Because no lie can live forever. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. How long? Because you shall reap what you sow. Yes, sir. How long? Not long. How long? Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne.
Welcome back to Green Time. We just saw the first half of the National MLK Street Initiative. And with me again, I want to introduce William, Carol, and Melvin White. How long have you been working on this project?
It's been a 7-year journey.
7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now tell me, who are Melvin White and William Carroll, and why in the world are you interested in this topic?
Okay, my name is Melvin White. I'm president and CEO of Beloved Streets of America. I'm a postal worker. That's my job.
Great.
You know, been at the post office for over 16 years, and I took an interest in this because just by visiting Delmar Boulevard back in '04, there were a lot of revitalization activities on these streets at that time.
Absolutely.
They were bringing businesses back, and it was just thriving. It was just starting to thrive. Once upon a time, Delmar used to look like Martin Luther King Street. It was
I can
shape.
remember when I first came to St. Louis in the 1970s, it was not looking good.
No, it wasn't. And so just by driving down a mile down the road, just looking at the street sign of this great hero of ours, Martin Luther King, and it just didn't match up with what was going on these streets, from drugs, prostitution, and just dilapidation. And it just does not make sense for a man who's done so much for our country to be remembered in that light.
Okay, William Carroll, what's been your interest in the project, and how have you contributed to it?
Well, I met Melvin at the Postal Service. Me, myself, I've been in the Postal Service for 16 years.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, yes, indeed. And the way I saw it, it was such a worthwhile project, extremely positive. Just bringing back the honor to Martin Luther King Boulevard, restoring the neighborhoods. I can remember like in the 70s when they were full of shops, and they had, like, I always remember Woolworths, so they had plenty of business, the thriving business. The neighborhoods.
So MLK as a street was actually more thriving in the 1970s than it has been since 2000.
Yes, very much so. And like I said, it was just a worthwhile, positive cause. And I have relatives that live over there, and I just hate to see when I drive down the street how dilapidated the place is, desolate. Like Melvin said, the prostitution and the drug dealing and things of that nature. And so when he came to me, I'm a bit of a latecomer to the organization. So when he came to me and asked me could I be a part of it, I was honored. Melvin and I, we've done business before. We've been part of a few other businesses, home-based business, things of that nature. And so Melvin, I guess he felt comfortable with me, as a business partner and whatnot. And so, I was all for it. I was honored that he asked me to be a part of this.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so y'all have been working on it for several years now.
Yes.
Making this. Okay. Now, Melvin, what is the idea for Beloved Streets of America? There's two terms. Let me ask you to clarify these. There's the Martin Luther King Street Initiative, and there's the Beloved Streets of America. Are those two names for the same thing?
Yes, they're the same thing. Beloved
great.
Streets of America and the National MLK Street Initiative. Beloved Streets of America is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and so our whole mission is to revitalize and conserve the streets that bears the honorable name of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So we came up with something called the National MLK Street Initiative, where we want to revitalize not only here in St. Louis, but go to other cities and to create some type of revitalization activities, seeing as though the majority of these streets have been pretty much dilapidated and run straight through crime-ridden.
Yeah, crime, very
The crime is an important part. So the two of you would really like to see this project all across the United States.
Yes, sir. It's a national problem.
Not just.
It's not just St. Louis.
It's just a start.
Those videos you saw, those were other cities. And,
okay, so this is the mission of Beloved Streets, to make a national initiative to revitalize Martin Luther King streets all across the country.
Sir.
Okay, now what's the Legacy Corner? Is that the first part of the
project?
This is
the first project of the national initiative is the Legacy Corner.
Okay.
And the Legacy Corner's whole intention is to bring back culture and history into the neighborhood. We feel as though a lot of youth these days have just lost the touch of some of the brilliant things that's been done in African American history and so on and so forth. And so with the Legacy Corner, it's going to honor a lot of our heroes in civil rights, entertainment, sports, and so on.
Okay.
So
Now, where would this be?
it'll be at the corner of Martin Luther King at 5916 Martin Luther King in Hamilton.
Okay, so and that's a corner that I've been to a lot.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Right.
so a lot of people in and around St. Louis know the corner
Yes, sir.
of Martin Luther King and Hamilton, and so this is something that you would like to do to have show the legacy. What sort of things would you like to have there?
It's going to be a beautiful place where it's going to be flowers, and it's just going to bring back some type of history. It's going to be plaques honoring a lot of our people in civil rights and so on. It's going to be very well lit. You know, it's going to be a place where a person could come and just sit outdoors and play chess. You know, it's going to be.
So what you're thinking, it's not, you're not thinking of a museum,
No,
which is inside.
it's an
You're thinking
outdoor
of
park area.
of an outdoor park area where people
where anybody can walk in and just come in and get history. You know?
Okay.
The plaques will give a description of what everyone's done, and yes, the bricks we're going to have
The bricks we're going to engrave certain people that have contributed to it. So if you want to contribute to it, so a corporation or anybody wants to contribute, we'll have special bricks, and they'll have their name on it just so they contribute
just
to
show
the
our
I've
project.
seen that done at a lot of monuments where people have their names engraved on the bricks, and I think that's
Yes, sir.
a lot of them
really.
at Forest Park. Yeah, a lot of them at Forest Park.
Oh, it's at Forest Park?
Oh yeah, a lot of them are. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's a really good way to build up get the financial support that you
Right.
need, and have people get their name that they were part of this from the
Exactly.
get-go.
Yes, sir.
Show our appreciation.
Well, okay. Well, I want to thank both of you. We're going to be back in just a few minutes. We're going to take a break, and we're going to look at the second half of the DVD, the National Martin Luther King Street Initiative. Welcome back to Green Time. I'm Don Fitz. This episode we're talking about the National MLK Street Initiative. We just took a look at the second portion of the DVD, and with me I have Melvin White, who is President and CEO of the beloved Streets of America. And if you think that William looks a little different this time, William does look different because it's not William at all. It's Barry Jarmon, who is treasurer of beloved Streets of America.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, we heard a little bit about Melvin in the first part of the show. Could you tell us a little bit about Barry Jarmon and when you came on board with this project and why you're interested in the whole issue of Martin Luther King Boulevard?
Yes, sir, Mr. Fitz. Thank you all. First of all, thank you for having me on the show. My name is Barry Jarmon. Born and raised here in the great city of St. Louis, Missouri. Went to Charles Sumner High School. Presently, right now, I'm married with 3 beautiful kids. Worked for the food service industry for quite a while. Presently, right now, working at Washington University. And how it started with me working with Beloved Streets of America. Melvin's my cousin, and he brought it to my attention on what the project in which he was trying to fulfill. And I was like, hey man, this is great. This is something that needs to be done, and it's like been long overdue. And I was like, great, I would love to come aboard and be a part of what he was trying to do. And I think it's just a worthwhile project that needs to be done as far as like with the total revitalization of the major streets across the United States, bearing the name of the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King.
So you're excited by the same idea?
I'm very excited.
Everybody who talks about this, that the Martin Luther King streets in St. Louis and around the country tend to be worn out, dilapidated,
yes, sir,
filled with crime,
yes, sir,
and it's time to really rebuild them and revitalize them like there's so many other streets.
ASAP, sir. Very urgent.
Now, let me ask both of you. In the first part, we did not really talk about green technology. What would that have to do with revitalizing Martin Luther King Boulevard?
Well, first of all, as we noticed, there are no trees at all up and down the 8-mile stretch of Martin Luther King. And as far as the buildings, there's no solar panels. We feel like the community has not even really been introduced to the greatness of green technology. They're left out, solely left out of it. So we feel like by bringing trees and plants in the area, it will bring, instead of looking at an eyesore, it'll actually boost up morale just by having pleasant things like that around, because they're so used to looking at the buildings and that's windows busted out and all that. So we feel like just by bringing trees, something simple as trees on these streets will enlighten these people.
I'm a psychologist by trade, and there's a lot of good psychological research that shows that when people are in an area with a lot of vegetation, and especially trees, more than anything else, trees are the most important factor.
Right.
People are more calm, they're more relaxed,
exactly,
and if they're in an environment without any sort of natural vegetation, they tend to be more tense and uptight.
Yes, sir.
And so this is something which could really help the whole spirit of people to have it, not just new buildings, but really having it look nice.
I agree, 100%.
And now, Barry, what can you tell me about your interest in green technology?
Well, as far as with green technology, as you stated, Mr. Fitz, that it creates harmony and peace. I mean, when there's a lot of green trees, there's transparency. You just live a little bit more at ease. Like, so when you go to the park, you're like, hey, you're kind of humble at what's been created here on Earth. So it's such a great thing to have. But when you don't have it in a community, and primarily when you have this a lot of concrete,
right,
with no trees.
I've noticed that.
You notice that it's just a lot of concrete, and I'm like, well, I mean, there's no transparency or harmonization. I mean, it does. It's like a tranquilness that I've noticed that when you have a lot of greenery around you.
Right, and so having that, and also the latest technology in terms of solar panels and things where you don't rely excessively on burning coal and things like that for heat. Now, one of the things which I'm, of course, very interested in is walkable neighborhoods and having neighborhoods where people can get to where they go by bicycling and walking, having local shops there. Are these some of the sorts of things you would like to see around Martin Luther King?
Yes, sir. We definitely want to bring businesses back to the area. The businesses have been gone, as you can see. A lot of them just left out of the area.
I know when I drive up and down MLK,
you don't see anything.
I see boards.
That's all you see.
I see boards. A few people living there.
And we want to bring back diversity also. You
Okay.
know, we feel like non-blacks, they don't want to visit down this street because of the simple stigma of it being crime-ridden, you know.
Right.
So we want to bring back.
St. Louis is one of the most segregated cities in the United States.
And Martin Luther King stood for diversity, so we want to bring that back.
Now, what sort of support would you like to see for your mission?
We would like for all the leaders all across the country to stand up. I mean, stand up to and donate to our foundation, and we would definitely like the leadership to step up from the churches, the entertainers, the actors, the actresses. We need you all support for this project in order to get this off the ground and really, really rolling.
And it's not just for North St. Louis that you're asking support.
No,
it's
from
everybody,
everybody
in the
across
city.
the country.
Okay, everybody, because Martin Luther King is an inspiration for
everyone.
Every ethnic and religious
Yes,
group and every economic group.
Yes,
and so you would really like support.
We want everybody to stand up.
Okay, now tell me, what's your website and what's your phone number? We're going to see
our website is belovedstreets.org. That's BELOVEDSTREETS.org. And you can reach us at 389-2442. And
314 area code.
314 area code. 314-389-2442.
Okay, and how can people make a donation if they would like to donate to Beloved
They can
Streets?
log on to our website. It's a donate button there. They can log on to the website and simply donate from our website.
Fantastic. Listen, you've given us a lot of good inspiration. I really want to thank you for.
Thank you, sir.
And this is a project which I think is extremely important because it blends civil rights and environmental issues, you know, and it's very important for everybody. And I want to, we hope that people get inspired when they see this show.
Appreciate
I
it.
want to invite everybody to tune in to the next episode of Green Time.